football.
Yeah, it's a little different sport, but it's a worldwide thing. It's great to host it here in Houston. We're excited about it. I think it's good for Houston, good for Texas, and great for our fans. So let's go.
Well, here's one goal FIFA accomplished. More Americans, even Texans, are referring to the games as football. We just have to figure out how to distinguish the difference, like oval football versus round football. It was the biggest sporting event of all time. So how did we do, and how will that help us secure future big events and score more economic points? Joining us for a recap is Canetti, president of the Houston World Cup Host Committee. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so in the commercial break, I said, are you glad it's over? Can you breathe now? And you said,
wish it was still going. It was a beautiful thing. It was so much fun. It brought so much joy and entertainment to so many people, and it's literally sad to see it end.
Yeah.
So just keep going.
It lasted, for that month-long span for us, but it had been a long process building up to it. Just touch on some of the things that it took to even become a host city.
Yeah, so I've been working on this for 7.5 years.
Wow.
Started back in 2019 when Houston was bidding to be a host city. We were amongst about 20 different cities across the U.S. who were trying to land these final 11 spots. So we were successful, and we got that good news in June of 2022. And so for the last 4 years, we've been planning and executing this event. So a lot of time has gone into this. Thousands of people have contributed to making it such a success here in Houston.
And so many different tentacles, things that people might not be thinking about. For example, over 4,000 volunteers helped. I got to tell you, when I went to the game, the volunteers were the kindest people, big smiles on their face. Even when people would be frustrated about things, they de-escalate and get you on your way. But that comes with a little bit of training and choosing volunteers carefully.
Yeah, it's a FIFA volunteer program. They do an amazing job. And to your point, we had over 4,000 people at the airports, at the stadium, at the hotels, at the fan festival, just with big smiles on their face, well-trained, and bringing a lot of energy to the entire event. They were a great force. Yeah,
over 1 million people attended World Cup events here, just here alone. They came from all 50 states and over 200 countries. That was good for Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so 1 million people at our matches, at our fan fest, at the fan walks. You name it. It was absolutely spectacular. We had people come from all 50 states. We had ticket buyers from more than 200 different countries. 44% of all the ticket buyers came from international markets. So it was truly an international event here in Houston, and something that was really special.
Yeah, and there was also, I think, a lot of bigger lessons taught. I remember sitting in the stands, and there was Curacao versus Germany. Most everybody was like, Germany's going to win this one. But I remember when Curacao, they scored that one goal, and to them that was as good as winning the World Cup, right? But it was like you had smaller countries that were able to show up and take part in the game.
Absolutely. Curacao had never been to a World Cup before. It was their debut. They're the smallest country ever to play in a World Cup, and here they are playing the 4-time champions of Germany, the giants of the game. And for about 15-20 minutes, they were tied 1-1. So to your point, it made their World Cup. It wasn't about whether they won or lost. They got beaten pretty good that day, 7-1. But there was so much energy, and that brought out the spirit of the World Cup, the first ever match back in early June.
And we had such a great time. Like I have no dog in the hunt with Germany or Curacao, but I had such a great time being there, watching people happy in that moment, which speaks to what sports can do for any community or any country or any state.
Yeah, and this was the biggest sporting event in the history of the world. You said it right off the top. 6.8 million people attended matches across the World Cup. Another 8.5 million went to fan fests in cities. The World Cup final had 50 million viewers in the United States on Sunday, 1.5 billion worldwide. It was the most watched event in the U.S. in the 21st century that wasn't an NFL event.
Yeah.
So it's just, the numbers are massive, but to your point, it's about happiness and joy and all the great memories that it brought everybody.
And what do you think it's going to do for, soccer has been here for a while, but what does it do to elevate it even more?
Yeah, so the World Cup was last year in 1994, and it really brought the game to this country, if you will. And over the last 32 years, we've been developing it, and now we've had this unbelievable moment with this World Cup. It's only going to take it to new heights over the course of the next few decades.
Yeah. The other thing that a lot of people were so happy about is that people behaved, right? So there were no big, issues, and of course safety was coordinated with law enforcement behind the scenes. With all that, the groundwork paid off as well.
Yeah, I mean, people enjoyed the event. They had fun. It was harmonious. There was literally no issues whatsoever from from a safety and security perspective, which was our number one priority. We needed to make sure that nothing went wrong. That would ruin the entire event. And heat mitigation was another concern as well, having these events in June and July here in Houston. And our public safety officials came through with fantastic planning, and there was no issues whatsoever. It was just
even from the people from the northern European countries were like, it's okay, we'll get through. Right?
Well, we had 40,000 people do the Dutch Netherlands march to the match on June 20th. 40,000, and only 2 people ended up with heat-related illnesses in that march on a very, very hot Saturday morning, and that was again a true testament to the planning of our public safety people.
All right, we set a lot of records. One of them, Houston. Our games had 27 goals scored, and we tied with what city?
Atlanta, I believe it was.
They had 27 goals as well. Well, let's go ahead and break that record now. We're going to have one more.
Right
they didn't say where the goal necessarily had to be scored, so we're just going to go
finish
ahead
it off right here.
you just do it. Show off right here. Nobody's blocking you. And there you go. Houston, 28 goals scored. All right. What's the next goal? What's the next big event that you would like to see come to Houston?
Well, the Women's World Cup is hopefully coming to the United States in 2031. And of course, Houston would love to bring the World Cup back on the women's side. And it would just be another epic event for our city.
All right. Thank you so much for all the work that you all did.
Thank you.